Hello, I just had a monster, and welcome to a video on tips on novelists. I'll be showing some basement saves and some general looping tips. I'm currently the 4th novelist in the server, and my assistant, Luchino, will be helping me out, who's currently jumping into a wall. This video was a pain in the ass to make because of them, but I'm going to be trying to show off the best I can. Anyway, let's begin. So looping with novelists is pretty normal for the most part. However, he can get an extra loop out of pallets, since if the hunter gets too close to him at the pallet, he can just stun the hunter. He is also pretty good at transitioning from pallet to pallet, since he can also get a stun if the hunter is about to hit him while he's transitioning to another pallet. What I like to do is loop around the pallet as much as I can, loop, loop, loop. Then, as soon as the hunter's about to hit me, turn around and stun the hunter with the pallet using the book. And also, as you can see, my assistant is hitting a pallet that I'm not standing at anymore. I don't know why they're doing that, but yes, I told them to just follow me, but they don't really know how, so yeah. So another thing about novelists is that he can actually make really bad pallets that you would usually avoid or, run away from actually very good, because he can get free stuns from them. So another thing I like to do as novelist is run back into the pallet, make the hunter swing through it, and then get a free pallet stun. I would be careful when doing this, however, as if the hunter does swing directly into the pallet or directly past the pallet, you will get hit. So another thing about novelists is that he can actually get basement saves pretty easily. I'm now going to show you some spots where you can actually get into the basement without getting hit. So another thing to note is that sometimes from these spots you can't actually swap with the hunter. If the survivor is chaired in the front of the basement, you actually won't be able to swap, since you get reduced range if a survivor is near the hunter. So be careful and try to take notes of where the survivor is actually chaired before going for the rescue. So most of the shacks in the game are actually the same. You'll mostly the same thing. If the hunter is chairing them in the back, you can grab them. If they're not, you won't really be able to. So again, just take note of where the survivor is actually chaired and plan accordingly. So this is actually a spot on Sacred Heart that I like to show off. There isn't really a great spot on this map. I will say that this one has worked for me a lot. It's a little situational, though, as the hunter does have to walk towards the top of the basement. But if it does work, it's a free save. The hunter can't really stop it unless they have blink. But yeah. Okay, Leo's memory is a bit weird. The hunter can't really be grabbed through this window right here. If they walk towards the window, you can grab them, and it doesn't really matter where the survivor is chaired. But it does require a bit of luck, as the hunter does have to walk towards that window. So, you know. So on Ever Sleeping, I actually like to come to this pallet, and when the hunter comes out of the basement, I like to throw it down and grab them. The other basement doesn't really have any spots like this, as far as I know. Another thing is, it also depends where the survivor is chaired. You won't really be able to grab them if they're chaired in the front of the basement. This is pretty much a free save, though, unless the hunter has blink, in which case you'll be blinked. So Lakeside is actually a little bit different. If the hunter chairs the survivor in the big boat basement, you can actually come to this window right here and get a free rescue by grabbing them at the stairs. The only thing that's different about this map, though, is that it actually doesn't really matter where the survivor is chaired, because you can actually grab them through this wall right here. This will also give you a free save most of the time, unless, of course, the hunter has blink, in which case it's not a free save. The Lakeside Shack is also a bit different than the other shacks, since it doesn't really matter where the survivor is chaired, you can pretty much grab the hunter. They do have to come a little bit close to this window to grab them, but most of the time you'll get them. If they are chaired in the back, it's easier, but it works either way. Moonlit is a little bit interesting, as there isn't really a good spot I'd say you can rescue from. Sometimes I stand by the pallet and I'll throw it down and grab the hunter. My assistant is not understanding what I'm telling them to do right now. But anyway, the problem with this spot is that the hunter probably will see you and might just not walk over to you. If that happens, you can't really do much, as the hunter can just keep standing there and doesn't have to come over. Now, the other moonlit basement, this one's even more, I'd say, harder to rescue from. The most you can do is stand in this pallet and try to grab the hunter. The problem is that where the survivor shared also matters here, and it's not very guaranteed, I'd say. It might work. Best case scenario is the hunter chairs them in the back, and you grab them into this pallet, and it'll give you a free save sometimes. So on Chinatown, I like to actually stand behind this wall and grab the hunter as they're coming out of the basement. However, if the survivor is shared in the front, you will not be able to grab the hunter when they're coming out of the basement, making it much harder to actually grab them. So on the second basement, or the basement in the main building, what I like to do is hide behind this pallet, and then as the hunter is exiting the basement, throw down the pallet and grab the hunter. If this pallet isn't here, you can basically do the same thing, though it's a little less safe. You can also do this if they're chaired in the front. However, they do need to be a little closer to you, but it still can work. So another thing is that novelists can actually get free chair saves. This very much depends on which hunter you're going against, but most of the time you can get a free chair save, unless the hunter has blink, and unless you're my assistant who does not know how to blink. So another thing about Novelist is that he can actually give your teammates free pallet stuns. If he's standing in the pallet and you have your teammate walk over and be waiting by the pallet, they can actually stun the hunter. I would not recommend doing this in solo queue, as your teammate might just not know you're trying to do it. But there isn't much the hunter can do about it unless they have a power that specifically gets you out of the pallet. So it's very good for redemption kites or just helping your teammate. Anyway, thanks for watching my whatever this is, this guide, I guess. I will probably post a more in-depth guide on how to kite with novelists. I thought I'd just show some basic tips and things while I learn how to make, videos and actually get good at editing, or at least decent at it. Also, I'm supposed to say luchinos rise. I don't know what that means, but yeah.